What's going on? What's going on? Everyone on all my platforms I'm on right now. I'm going live on Instagram. I'm also going live on YouTube. So I'm live on both. I just want to talk right now about the whole Myles situation and just just get everybody to understand that first off, you know, that whole situation in a nutshell was wrong. Everybody on all parts, man, on both sides of the ball, defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, and I mean, everybody always talk about blaming on the coaches, and the coaches should have had this and that. The biggest thing is when two players are going at it, whether that's somebody intentionally do something to them, accidentally do something to them. For anything to happen, there needs to be a big investigation done before you dish out any punishments. Yeah, everybody can see on national television that everything went down or whatever, but at the same time, there needs to be an investigation that is looked at. And I feel when it comes to black people, when we do something, it's never investigated correctly. Always more so on the lines of, well, they got out of character, they bent out of shape, they did this, they did that. But when I look at the Myles Garrett situation, when they played, I feel that Mason Rudolph, a white man, was wrong. He was wrong in how he tried to take the man's helmet. But when you look at everything politically, they don't show that. All they show is that, oh, this black guy just got upset, took this dude's helmet off, and hit him upside the head with it. And that's not even what really happened. I mean, it happened, but we got to look at the whole picture of what happened, what caused this. For every thing that happens, there's a reaction to it. So if you treat people right, then I'm saying, you get good things. But when you do people wrong, you get that whole thing. So the first thing I want to say in this whole thing is, and I've done a video, y'all go check me out on YouTube or whatever, at the Frazier Chronicles, and you'll see I got one up there where it talks about police brutality, and everything. It talks a lot about the black and the white world, and this is a perfect example of it on national television, where Myles Garrett suspended for the rest of the season because of everybody's looking at the whole object that, oh, he took this dude's helmet and hit him upside the head. My thing is, there was no big investigation clearly done, and as an owner, the biggest thing I'm gonna do is, first, before I make a decision on what punishment I'm gonna give you, is I'm gonna investigate it, as well as let the whole organization as well investigate. Then we're gonna come together and collaborate all our thoughts and whatever else we have put into it, and come up with the punishment for each and every player. I feel that there was a punishment done too quickly because of it's one of their white people. And I'm not a racist at all. I'm bringing up facts. I feel Myles Garrett should, if he's going to serve a punishment, I give him about 4 games suspension and let's move on with it. But because he retaliated, or whatever y'all want to call it, he hit a guy upside the head with a helmet and barely hit him upside the head on top of that. I mean, people can talk about, well, to inflict serious damage, he could have done this. But if you look at the whole thing, and if you go and put up, while you're watching this, put up the whole clip of what happened, you're going to see that he did what a typical white man would do. And that's throw his hands up as if he done nothing wrong to the black guy. And that's where I feel there needs to be some lines that's been, reestablished. And I understand there's racism in America, and a lot of the owners are racist, and the people that made these decisions on Myles Garrett got to have some racism in them, and they don't have to have a clear knowledge of investigations. I don't feel they do. I mean, I understand that a player does this and a player does that, but like I said, everybody in the situation should have been, but I don't feel like nobody should have been taken to the point where they missing the whole season and missing out on millions of dollars of paychecks, because that's what fills the stands is dope players. But you telling me, and this is another thing that you're telling me when you do something like that, is that y'all have y'all policies in place for certain things, but it's like when certain other things happen, there's no policy. We got to investigate. Let's go investigate that. What happened, so that we can look at Mason Rudolph. I feel like each player should have been able to play this given Sunday until an investigation is clear. Now, if you want to wait and say, hey, our investigation to the point where it goes towards near the playoffs or towards the end of the season or whatever, then you can still give out your punishments and have those things done for next season. Because if you look at it, and the reason I say that's because when you're in the NCAA, people are always doing something every time in the NCAA. Guys go down there and that stuff come up, and then the guys are gone by that time, and then here these guys that come in are punished for what it is. So what I'm saying is, that right there just shows a big thing of white privilege. And I know people gonna say, "Oh, you don't know about white privilege. You don't know this." But I know in this world that we live in, that as a black man, you could do something to a white man. They could do it 10 times harder than you. But then just because you go out there and defend yourself, and maybe you do something that's not, you know what I'm saying, to the point where you killed the guy, but because of you taking up for yourself, defending yourself, then that's what happened. Everybody else want to use the word retaliate. Retaliate is one of the words that is like thrown around like cotton candy. You know what I'm saying? It's thrown around, but it's used loosely. It's not used in the context that it's supposed to be. And because when you look at it, I feel that Myles Garrett was taken up for himself, not just retaliate. Okay, he's taken up for himself because something obviously happened, and maybe there was some exchange of words that happened. I don't care. When you in football, we're gonna look at it. Football is a sport where things happen. And I feel that even the refs, if you look back at it, seeing the commotion going on, they seen the commotion, and at no time they threw their flag after they seen the after effects of what Mason Rudolph did to Myles Garrett. They did an after effect thing, and I don't like stuff like that. And that right there just shows me that the reason Kaepernick is out the NFL is right. You know what I'm saying? It's right. The point is right. It's not about things like that. When you people taking up for what's wrong, doing the right thing for what is, for what is wrong, or taking a stand. That ain't what it's about. It's about you interrupting what we got going on. And what I mean by we, I'm talking about the GMs and the managers and the NFL as a whole. You're interrupting what they have going on. That's about making money. It's a business, it's a market. So when you look at it, Myles Garrett, to me, man, if I was the GMs and all of them, and I was an owner or had any part in the investigation, I'm gonna say, hey, yeah, everybody had a part in it. We're not going to just look at he took a helmet off the guy, ripped it off, and hit him over the head. Because if you look at it, it seemed like he was doing the same thing to Myles Garrett. To Myles Garrett. Mason Rudolph did the same thing to Myles Garrett. Because if you look under the power when it first started, is you see Myles Garrett head turning, and you see the helmet had his helmet halfway off. I mean, we all know what a Browns helmet looked like, and we know what a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet looked like. But the thing about it is, it's not a level playing field. And I feel like each NFL player better understand that, because it don't just stop at Myles Garrett. It goes way back to Ben Roethlisberger when he had his whole rape case down there at the university that I want to say of Georgia. And what happened to Ben Roethlisberger? What happened to that? And I'm not throwing no shade, but I'm just showing you that Myles Garrett, as a black man, but I understand, and everybody else but understand as black, that you're going to go through these things with these guys that are whites, you know what I'm saying, that are part of the NFL and that are part of these things. And I'm not trying to be a racist person, but you got some awful times. You got some black guys who doing whatever they got to do to keep millions in their pocket, instead of sitting there and saying, hey, this is what that needs to be happening. This is what needs to be done. And that's why I like Stephen A. Smith as a talk show host or whatever, because Stephen A. Smith is straight to the point. He's not the type of person that's going to dibble dabble with you and flip flop on you. He's going to give it to you straight shot. And I feel that with a lot of times with politics, and I say politics because that's one of the main things that keep the NFL is politics. But if you study the history of the NFL, most people didn't want to play in the NFL, but I won't get on that case. That was years back. Those were years ago. You know what I'm saying? But things change, So you realize that a lot of things happen and you just got to kind of go with it. But at the same time, you got to take a stand for what's right. And that's why on all my platforms, I'm taking a stand for what's right. Because Myles Garrett, to me, in that situation, is just right there basically defending himself. And if a man can't defend himself on the field, then we don't need to have football. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to have no sports where a man can't defend himself. Y'all, Tom Brady, for instance, Tom Brady tears his knees up because somebody hits his knee. At what point did the game change? When that stuff was happening years, when blacks were taking cheap shots back when, or blacks were being hit with cheap shots back when the time of segregation and all that. When did y'all change the rules up? That's all I want to understand. And that's why when I get on these platforms and I do my rants and I do my raves, it's because I can. If somebody don't feel like that's the right thing to do, then you can always flip that. You can always flip that switch and unfollow me and find your way to a political area where they're going to tell you what you want to hear. And that's the thing about the world, is everybody's in this thing to get what they want to hear, not tell the truth, not be told the truth. And Myles Garrett's incident, there needs to be a truth told. I feel like you never did an investigation. You looked at what you saw on TV, and then you made your analogy of dishing out a punishment. And we all know you could say, hey, hey, I'd rather this guy sit out this week because we don't know what we're going to do to him. But at the same time, if y'all want to let the guy play, let the guy play. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not a racist individual, and I'm not for racism at all. I'm against that. I'm against it 100%. And that's going to be me all day till I die, because I don't understand what racism accomplished. It just shows you are fearful of the other race. That's all racism does. It shows that I'm afraid of this race. And I'm just going to try to do what I can to inflict fear or inferiority into this other race. And that's what I'm trying to, that's all I'm trying to say. You have to understand that Myles Garrett, not wrong at all for what he did. Myles Garrett did the exact what anybody I feel would do. And that's defend yourself. I'm not going to say retaliate, because like I said, retaliate is a word that's used loosely amongst everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to say, well, this person retaliated, this person did that. No, Myles Garrett felt like an incident was going on. He couldn't get himself out of it. He couldn't even walk away from the situation, because being under a power, being up under somebody, they doing something to you, you know what I'm saying? Or they holding on to you. What can you do? You can't do nothing. You got to try to get yourself off of them. But then when things start going further in depth, I mean, I seen that, yeah, the whole helmet thing, but I feel like the NFL, ESPN, all those big major brands sit there and try to take this black guy and put him out there as if, hey, let's wave this black guy around. He's the one that did something wrong. Let's let the white guy run free, because we seen the white guy throw his hands up. Well, a white guy throws his hands up, stuff is squashed. But a black man throws his hand up, well, that's more aggression. We got to go kill this guy. So, I mean, I'm just saying, look at everything for what it is. Don't stop looking at it from what they want you to see, and get up on the high horse and see it, because we all see the same thing. I mean, my thing about it is some people act like they need some glasses and some contacts to see the same thing we see. If I can see it with my eyes and I ain't got no glasses on, why do you think that the man sits next to me got to need some glasses, or the woman sitting next to me needs some glasses or some contacts? They don't need that stuff. They see the same thing. I don't care, white or black. You see the same thing going on. Nobody stands for it. Everybody's just like, okay, well, Myles Garrett got suspended for hitting somebody in the head with a helmet. And my thing about it is, and I'll say this, and if I was a coach in on any level, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL or college level, if you try to sit there and do something to hurt, injure one of my players or hurt my players, then I expect my player to defend themselves so that they don't get hurt. Now, if you want to say he took it a little too far, that's here or there. I'm not going to say that he took it too far. I'm not going to say he did. I feel like Myles Garrett did what was necessary to get the situation handled. And then for, his boys over there, for Mike pouncing out and come and just stomp on the dude. I mean, yeah, you're taking up for your quarterback, but at the same time, man, you got to make sure your quarterback doing the right thing too. You know what I'm saying? Because I played football, and even when I played football, there were times where we had a guy, he hit a guy after the play. I'm talking about blatantly after the play, like play over, whistle blown, everything, everybody walking back, and all you see is a boom. He hit the dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there like, damn, dude, like, come on, man, you can't let somebody get in your head. But nobody was on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? They both standing there. So if he would have got ejected, I can understand that. But if I see if he hit the guy, and then the guy fall down and he on top of the guy, and the dude rolling over here and punch him or whatever he doing, because my thing about it is, we all men. Come on now. That's the first thing you got to understand is we men. The second thing is we athletes. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I'm going to look at is my man, my manhood, not no athlete. I don't care about your damn team at that point. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, I got to defend myself. And once I feel like you take my rights away to defend myself, then now we got a problem, because maybe I don't need to be in your organization. Maybe I need to go ahead and move on to my own organization. So what I'm saying is you have to figure out what it is that you're doing. And if you're going to be a part of this thing, because if you're going to be a part of this thing, you're going to have to bow down to all the masters that's up there. And I'm using that terminology because a lot of sports, man, is that way. You know what I'm saying? These people own these guys and they making more money off of these guys, because I'm telling you, you put some no-namers on the field, man, the people ain't gonna come. You know what I'm saying? You take the Lamar Jacksons off the Ravens, and you take all the Earl Thomas off the Ravens, and you ship them to, y'all not going to be playing no more. I'm going to send y'all down there to the arena football. I bet you arena football fans and the arena will be filled, because nobody's not about to sit there watch no name brands on the field. So that's all I'm trying to say. My thing about it is I like the NFL. I like hockey. I like baseball. I like all sports, but I feel that no black man should have to be put in a position where he cannot defend himself when another race guy or female, I don't care what sport it is, comes at them and then they can't defend themselves in a way that is right. Everybody has rights. I don't have, it's like going out to eat. Myles Garrett or any GM or anybody don't have to go and let somebody punch them in the face. You know what I'm saying? You eating at the restaurant, they punch you in the face because you such and such. And then you know, they get off. But then they come and hold, they come and put their hand around your neck. And now you trying to fight them off. And you throw them across the room. And then you go over there and you hit them a little more. Now you messed up. You know what I'm saying? But if it's the other way around where we in the suburbs, you know, we're in the suburbs. Let's say we up in the suburbs of Charlotte, and I'm famous. I'm eating my food. You know what I'm saying? And a black dude come up to a white dude and hold him around the neck. Man, that dude about to be lynched outside. You know what I'm saying? He about to be lynched in the system because one, they're gonna say, well, you should have never assaulted him and blah blah blah. But they're not gonna look at the story if it's on the other foot because we all know that as blacks, we can commit the same crimes as a white man. And we don't get the same punishment. We always get the harsher punishment. And that just lets you know because of that race is scared of the black race. It's a known fact. And it's a fact that I will always hold to. That's my opinion. And I'm going to hold to that because I've seen it even in the military. That's why I'm doing my research. I'm doing a lot of researching on putting these next videos out because when I come to y'all, I want to bring y'all facts. I'm not bringing no opinionated stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even with the whole NFL Myles Garrett thing, that's not opinionated. That's facts. You seen the white guy do something to the black guy. The black guy then turns around and tries to defend himself, right? And then he's told, okay, well, hey, you're done for the rest of the season. I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. You know, you try to hurt me. You know, it's the same force as a police do. The police do the same thing. If you trying to shoot a police officer, the police officer got a gun, they're gonna do the same. They're gonna try to shoot you too. They're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, he's trying to shoot me. Let me see how I can de-escalate the situation without having to pull my gun out. Your life on the line, your life on the line too. And that's how I feel that whole situation played out. So my hat's tipped off to Myles Garrett. My hat's tipped off to the coach of the Cleveland Browns. And I will say that because at the end of the day, I don't feel that Myles Garrett should have got the punishment. As a coach, I feel like, hey, yeah, we can always talk about what we should have done, what we should have did, but every scenario ain't gonna play out that way because it's just like if they all running out of the tunnel, and then you got a person, a spectator, you know what I'm saying, jump off and punch one of the guys in the face, and then and then the spectator jumps back in the stand. How do you feel that player gonna feel? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna feel? They gonna feel about the organization? He go back into the stands. Yeah, y'all gonna remove him. But my thing about it is, y'all ain't beat him up or beat her up to let them know, like, hey, we're not gonna tolerate this because everybody's scared about it's all about politics. How do we look? You know what I'm saying? How do we look? It's about how we look, man. And I want everybody, collegiate athletes, but y'all better understand that stuff. It's about how they look, man. It's not about how you look because once you mess up, man, they're gonna look at how's this organization being looked at right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like anything else with the University of Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Texas, small schools, NAIA schools, NCAA schools, Division III schools, Division II, Division. It's all about how you look, man. And it's not, and more so, it's about how they get perceived as. They're gonna say, oh, well, they don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an Alabama fan. I'm a Bears fan in the NFL, but I feel like when it comes to players and stuff, there has to be a line that each player, you know, if somebody tries to take your head off with a helmet, you know what I'm saying, trying to rip your helmet off your head or whatever, twist your head or whatever, and you get up and you trying to defend yourself, hey, by all means defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they trying to do it to the point where they, you know, they're not doing too much, they just doing a little bit, okay, all right, calm down, you know. But I feel like they did that because Mason Rudolph threw his hands up as if, okay, hey, I'm not doing anything. I'm not the aggressor. I didn't start this. This black guy started this. He's angry. He's an angry man. He's trying to hurt me. Y'all not going to do nothing about it? But like I said, if I was on the investigation team, there are certain things I would do. And I feel like there are certain things that they need to do. Because if you're going to tell that this guy's going to be gone and then you want him to meet with the owner, you know what I'm saying? If I was the owner and you come meet with me and they say that, then I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, what look, you know, y'all both were wrong in the situation. I you know, y'all both should be fined maybe missing about 2 or 3 games. I don't feel like it's enough to basically say, hey, you're done for the whole season. I feel like, yeah, you miss a couple games, and then maybe we'll send you to some classes, get you some help so that, hey, maybe the next time if this does happen again, we can see a better, different result after that. And I think that's where it comes down to. Everybody needs to be given an opportunity and a chance, not just to be thrown away like a piece of paper in a trash can, because that's just wrong, blatantly wrong, understandably wrong. Can't understand that. But again, all I want everybody to do is understand in the world that it's the same. Everybody needs to be treated equally across the board. And I know it's not going to be that way. I'm a realist in this. But when you got national television doing that, you have to, I understand a lot of the stuff is dealt with people of a different nationality. And I deal with people of every different nationality. Mexican, I treat everybody the same, man. I feel like I've been around racist people, and people, call you the N-word. Man, you look at them and say, hey, what I'm saying? That's not tolerated around me. You know what I'm saying? They might do it again, but I understand, and I tell them in their face, if I punch you in your face, if I haul off a punch you in your face, the court gonna look at me as the aggressor. They're not gonna realize that you just verbally assaulted me, calling me the N-word, calling me an uneducated guy, and you don't even know how educated I am, because that's the N-word is basically saying that you're an uneducated person. So, when you say what's up my N, you say what's up my uneducated brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just throwing it out there, and I want everybody else to get to understand that this what you just seen with the whole Myles Garrett case is the biggest thing you've seen in America from the day it started thriving with slavery to now. It's the same thing. Ain't nothing changed. But I feel at the same time, and I hope at some point in time that the sports world get the hint that, hey, we treat everybody the same. Let's move on. All right. We can break bread. We can talk about it. We can move on, because all it is a big entertainment. It's all sports is entertainment. Wrestling, professional wrestling, entertainment. You got GMs who call people the N-word. That has been in football. So, when you look at football, the NFL, you got to know there's racism at the top, and how you deal with it is how you deal with it. I'll tell you how to deal with it. I'm not going to tell you to go out here and do this, and I'm not going to tell you to go out there and do that. You got to deal with it the best way you can, because that's the organization that you pick. You know what I'm saying? And if millions of dollars is worth being called an N or being messed over, and you like that, my thing, stay with it then. But if you know that's not what you like, go find another job and take your money. You secured enough bags, go ahead and move on and do your thing. But other than that, I'm out. I'm about to go ahead and chill out, watch a couple games at the house. I'm gonna go to the house, leave the studio now, and do it. But y'all subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. This channel right here, the Frazier Chronicles. It's off the wall channel. I tell your friends to get with my YouTube. Subscribe. They can write their comments below. I'll write comments back. Everything. If you feel like, hey, I'm wrong, we could talk about it in a video. We could do whatever. But all I want you to do is subscribe to my channel. Get your friends to subscribe, and let's just be friends. Let's make friends. White, black, Hispanics. I don't care. I'm cool with everybody. So just come to my channel, subscribe, and let's get some things talked about and discussed. Again, it's your boy. My name, David, aka the Preacherman, and live from Houston and Vegas, as they say. Your boy, I'm out. Till the next episode. Don't forget, before you leave, subscribe to my Instagram, my Facebook, as well as this YouTube channel. And it's all Frazier Chronicles. Frazier Chronicles. Until the next episode, I'm out, y'all.